This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to SHN Sports Broadcast of Georgetown Eagle Baseball. I'm Wally Harmon alongside tonight. Doppler Dave in the house and running the boards and making it all work. Thankfully, here tonight is my wife, Jerry, and Harmon. We're live here at Nelson Field for the Bi-District Playoffs, and we're here thanks in solely to ATC Contractors Incorporated for their sponsorship of Georgetown Eagle Playoffs in this Bi-District Playoff Series. We thank them, and you will hear their commercial multiple times. Reach out to them, proud sponsors of Georgetown Eagle Baseball here in the Bi-District around, as they provide free to you on SHN and an opportunity to listen to Georgetown Eagle Baseball. And Dave, we're here on the road for Game 1 of this Bi-District Playoff. The Navarro Vikings will be the home team tonight here at Nelson Field. Your Georgetown Eagles, the visitors, but the champions from District 23. A great year for another district championship for Jordan Vieira and this Eagle baseball team, as our super fan John Peters down there has the flag going, the crowd getting going as they come in. But the Eagles, 13-1 in district play, face off against the Navarro Vikings, who are 11-13 overall, but finished 8-6 in District 24. We loved this time last year. It ended in a great celebration at the Dell Diamond, and now this team ready to make a run of their own here, Dave. Starting out at Nelson Field tonight.
That's absolutely. One of their slogans is unfinished business, right? They've got work to do, and this is a new team and a new feeling, and it's going to be exciting to see what this squad can do as coach steps up to the plate to visit with the Navarro coach and the umpires and everybody. And it's a beautiful day today. I guess I'll go ahead and segue right into
a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. Partly cloudy, 81 degrees. The wind is south-southeast at 9 miles an hour. It's basically blowing out of center field right in towards home plate. It's pretty sticky tonight. Humidity is 70%, dew point 70. So we're watching some potential storms and weather out to the west. I don't believe it's going to affect us tonight. I think it's all going north of us towards Waco. So this grass field that we're looking at, an old school dirt, this is a unique, I'll let you describe the outfield there. It's a unique experience here.
Down the left field line is all grass surface with a dirt infield, dirt home plate area, dirt mound here at Nelson Field. Old facilities here of AISD have been here for many years. Nelson football field right behind us, an all turf football field, and the original Nelson field there, and now the baseball field right across the way here. But a beautiful covering here to give the behind home plate shade here to enjoy. We got nice cover here in the broadcast booth, brought to you by Matt Morrow and Borrow from Morrow. This field, the dimensions are different, though. 310 down the left field line. Left center field is 347. 392 to dead straight center field, where you see the American flag in the background blowing with a direct wind out of the south here right towards home plate. Right center field, the distance is 385 and 351 down the right field line. But, Dave, you talk about that different landscaping from just left of center field, kind of in left center field, all the way around to the right field line, a slope that goes up to the fence. And so things that will come into play, these players will have to be ready for that for any balls. Now, the best thing is the wind blowing in, it's going to take a monster shot to get into that hillside at the 392 mark, the 385 mark, and the 351 mark. But a different surface that these outfielders have to be ready for.
Yeah, it looks like Talladega out there. You know, It looks like a race car NASCAR track around there. But you're right, Wally. If anybody is going to, hit one all the way out center field, they better have ate their Wheaties this morning, because that wind is blowing right at us. It's going to be a tall order. But yes, the Jerry Ann was saying the field just kind of slopes down. If you go stand down there right behind home plate, you're looking up at home plate, which is interesting, and we'll see how that plays out for the catchers. Navarro, I'm sure, is used to that, but for us, let's see how that plays out. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but
And a lot of things that Chance Pernica paid attention to previous to the game in warm-ups, going through, paying attention to that. Once he comes off of that dirt circle there at home plate, it drops down an obvious sink down there that comes back to the wall. And so things that have to be paid attention to when you go back to the friendly confines of Eagle Field tomorrow night, first pitch 7 p.m., that you'll notice and you'll realize it's a totally flat surface. Everything is nice and level, and so these players have to pay attention to that. This is what playoff baseball is about. You go to fields that aren't your norm, and you have to be ready to perform in all situations.
And the dugouts are very cool. There's no roof. It's just there's a little fence, protecting everybody from the balls, and it's very cool. It's kind of neat. It's the grass field. You can smell the grass in the air. It's fun to be here tonight, Wally.
And they drop back down in there, a sunken dugout that's almost level with the bleachers. It's awesome part to see it. But this old school design, this old field, Nelson Field has been here for many years, but it's ready to play ball. I tell you what, a beautiful grass surface. They've done a lot of great work on it in the deal, but in the season you can tell a lot of great grass out here to play baseball on. The difference you'll see at the backstop is not a net, is not a giving net. I talked to Chance Pernica before and asked him, have you gotten your tetanus shot? Because it's a metal fence. Yeah. There are breaks in it. It's an old metal fence, and so things you just have to pay attention to and be ready, not let it worry you, but be prepared for it when you have to make a play.
Well, we're seeing the uniforms that everybody's playing. Georgetown's got the light blues, kind of like the Kansas City Royals.
And they're wearing the all-white pants tonight. No pinstripes with just the blue and white stripe down the side. The baby blue Royal throwback jerseys as the Eagles are being introduced. They have the white numbering on the back outlined in the Georgetown blue. Eagles in script lettering across the front with the white helmets on the batting side tonight. The white helmets on the hats that were in the field. The baby blues with the G logo and the Georgetown blue bill. The hometown team here in game number 1, the Navarro Vikings in the all whites with the white tops, white bottoms, with the gold sleeves. Vikings in capital block print letter across the front in black, outlined in yellow. The black hats with the white front, the yellow, the gold bill on the front for the home team, the Vikings of Navarro High School. The Navarro Vikings come in 11-13 on the year, 8-6 overall. Their head coach is Jacob Anderson, varsity assistant Kyle Groover, assistant coaches included David Avila and Luis De Luna. For Navarro High School and AISD, interim superintendent Matias Segura, the principal Stephen Coven, the athletic director, Leal Anderson, athletic coordinator, the baseball coach, Jacob Anderson, and the athletic trainer, Dr. Miguel Benavides. And now we'll prepare for...
Today's starting lineups are brought to you by G-Town Lumber and Supply. G-Town Lumber and Supply, located at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, serves general contractors, subcontractors, and do-it-yourselfers. We specialize in dimensional lumber, decking, siding, door and windows, hand-hewn timbers, KDAT lumber, and corbels. Hometown service like none other. Visit us at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, or visit our website at gtownlumberandsupply.com.
The Navarro Vikings starting lineup tonight. G-Town Lumber and Supply brings it to you. Leading off, playing shortstop, number 4, Bryce Pascal. Batting second and pitching, number 21, Ketty Votto. Batting third, playing second base, number 3, Brandon Galvan. Batting fourth, playing third base, number 11, Neighbor Ramirez. Batting fifth and catching, number 2, Damian Cervantes. Batting sixth and playing left field, number 19, Zach Tellez. Batting seventh and playing first base, number 18, Carlos Adame. And batting eighth, playing right field, number 9, Chris Torres. Batting ninth for the Vikings, the center fielder, number 7, Brian Nieto. So it'll be Pascal, Votto, and Galvan, Ramirez, Cervantes, and Tellez in the middle, Adame, Torres, and Nieto, the bottom third for the Navarro Vikings. The starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles, selected by head coach Jordan Vieira, assistant coaches for Coach Vieira, Chad Payne, David Durrell, and Mike Cockrell, manager Jared Frimmel, and Jake Bachman. Student trainers, Avery Mon, stat girls, Carter Campbell, Grace King, Nicole Witt, and Ruby Hellman. The starting lineup for your Georgetown Eagles. Leading it off, playing center field, number 17, Devin Peterson. Batting second, playing third base, number 4, Brady Peters. Batting third and playing second base, number 20, Talon Ball. Batting fourth and on the mound, number 21, Riley Leininger. Batting fifth and playing shortstop, number 2, Eli Hellman. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 11, Jackson Rainey. Batting seventh in left field, number 10, Andrew Nations. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 7, Chance Pernica. And batting ninth, the right fielder, number 8, Jacob Faltasek. Peterson, Peters, and Ball in the top third. Leininger, Hellman, and Rainey in the middle third. Nations, Pernica, and Faltasek the bottom third for your Georgetown Eagles. We'll take a quick break. We'll have the national anthem and come back, and we'll talk more Eagle baseball and get ready to go here in the top of the first. You're listening to Georgetown Eagle Baseball on SHN.
Morrow from Morrow broadcast booth is sponsored by our friend and longtime supporter Matt Morrow at borrowfrommorrow.com. Matt Morrow and his team is dedicated to providing the best mortgage experience possible by offering easy-to-use mortgage tools, including our handy mobile app, competitive rates, and assistance from a certified mortgage advisor. Matt understands the local markets, has access to a wide variety of loan programs, and is ready to guide you through the process. Your family, your future, our focus. For your mortgage needs, remember Matt Morrow. Borrow from Morrow. For more information, visit borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148.
Back here at Nelson Field in the broadcast booth, brought to you by Morrow from Morrow. ATC Constructors Incorporated, proud sponsors of the Bi-District Playoff Series here on SHN that bring you baseball for free. The continued coverage of Georgetown Eagle baseball. I'm Wally Harmon in the booth, and I tell you what, tomorrow night we'll be back at the friendly confines of Georgetown High School in Eagle Field. We'll have our guys on the call back in the booth. On the PA announcer, Chris Petty, will be back in the booth and bring you Georgetown Eagle baseball like none other back at the home field at Georgetown High School. 7 o'clock first pitch tomorrow night for Game 2 of the series. If needed, Game 3 will be Saturday, 1 p.m. at Eagle Field as well. But that's got to come later. We got to worry about tonight. First things first, as Ketty Votto warms up for the Navarro Vikings. The right-hander goes through his warm-ups here in the top of the first inning. We'll face off against Devin Peterson, Brady Peters, and Talon Ball to start it off. And the first inning of Georgetown Eagle baseball is brought to you tonight by Borrow from Morrow.
First inning of today's game is brought to you by borrowfrommorrow.com. Matt Morrow and his team is dedicated to providing the best mortgage experience possible by offering easy-to-use mortgage tools, including our handy mobile app, competitive rates, and assistance from a certified mortgage advisor. Matt understands the local markets, has access to a wide variety of loan programs, and is ready to guide you through the process. Your family, your future, our focus. For your mortgage needs, remember Matt Morrow. Borrow from Morrow. For more information, visit borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148.
Devin Peterson will lead things off here in the top of the first for your Georgetown Eagles. He'll step in from the right side, the junior center fielder, to start things off here in Game 1 of the Bi-District Playoff Series. The Navarro Vikings out of District 24 and the Georgetown Eagles, the champions of District 23. Ketty Votto, the right-hander, will start and throw from the stretch. The first pitch to Devin Peterson is high for ball one. And we're underway here live at Nelson Field. Game number one of this series between these two teams. 1-0 the count to the junior center fielder, Devin Peterson. Coach Vieira down through at the third base box. The 1-0 pitch fouled off, backed off the wiring for a strike. 1-1 the count to Devin Peterson. Votto looks in, gets the sign from Cervantes, comes set in the stretch. The 1-1 pitch, the break-in pitch stays up and in for ball two. 2-1 now the count to the leadoff man, Devin Peterson. Coming to the ball game, like opponents on the year, Dave, Conley Cougars and Cedar Creek Eagles come on the schedule for both of these teams. Navarro lost to the Conley Cougars in their only matchup and to the Cedar Creek Eagles. Your Eagles went 2-0 against both of those teams as the 2-1 pitch is inside for ball three. And so now a 3-1 count to Devin Peterson here in the top of the first. The Bi-District Playoff brought to you by ATC Constructors Incorporated, proud sponsors of Georgetown Eagle Baseball. They sponsor the Bi-District Playoff Series here for you on SHN. The 3-1 pitch to Peterson is up high and inside, ball four. And a leadoff walk has Peterson aboard here for the Eagles in the top of game number one. That'll bring up the senior right-handed hitting third baseman, number 4, Brady Peters. Peters will step in here with the bases, a runner at first base. No outs here in the top of the first here at Nelson Field for game one of this Bi-District Playoff. Ketty Votto gets the sign from Cervantes, comes set. Peterson leads off first, being held on there by Adame. He'll look over towards first, steps off, but doesn't make a throw. Peterson cruises back towards the bag, and we'll all reset here as Peters ready to go from the right side. Votto comes set. Peters squares the bunt, and now to throw over to first base. And Devin Peterson dives back in safely there. The Eagles love to get things going and get the pressure on the pitching staff of the opposing teams. And Peterson looking to do that right away here. The big lead. Peters squares the bunt. Peterson off and running. The throw down there on the called strike, and Peterson easily in at second base. The first stolen base of the ball game. And an 0-1 count to Brady Peters as he pulled the bunt back. And Cervantes' throw was laid into second base. So Peterson in scoring position with no outs here in the top of the first. And now Brady Peters should have the green light to swing away with the runner on second base. And no outs here in the top of the first. Adame will come in on the grass at first base. Ramirez even with the bag at third base. A look back towards second by Votto. The 0-1 pitch to Peters. Breaking pitch catches the outside corner. And it's an 0-2 count now to Brady Peters as he called strike. Slow bender there. And Peters laid off and took it for strike two. No balls and 2 strikes. Peterson leads off second base as Galvan tries to keep him close. Votto a look back. The 0-2 pitch. Peters fouls it off back to the screen. Stays alive in the bat now. No balls and 2 strikes. The Georgetown Eagles finished the regular season 20-12-1 and 13-1 in district play. The sole district champions of District 23. The Navarro Vikings finished in 4th place, 8-6 in District 24. The other matchups going tonight, we'll go over those. And the 0-2 pitch hit Brady Peters. And now first 2 batters aboard for the Eagles here in the top of the first. First batter hit by a pitch there by Votto. And now Peters at first, Peterson at second, and in steps Mighty Mouse. Talon Ball will step in from the right side, the junior second baseman. He'll get the signs from Coach Vieira down at third base before he steps in. But the Eagles now get that pressure applied early, Dave, with 2 runners on and no outs in the top of the first.
Right. The pressure is on that pitcher right now to get these pitchers out. And so far he's kind of got some early struggles. And we'll see if he can shake it off.
The first pitch the ball, and he'll lay down a bunt down the third baseline. But it hit off of his hand. It's going to be a dead ball. So we'll see if Talon's all right as he immediately stopped. And now he's dropped the bat, stays in a squatting position. We'll see if Talon Ball's okay. Chad Hennessy out to check on him. So it'll be ruled a strike. 0-1 will be the count to Talon Ball, but we'll see if he's all right and be able to remain in the game. It may be a cut to the face. It looks like he's bleeding there, so he'll have to come over and get attended to. I don't know if they'll have to go to the bench or they'll give him a chance to stop the bleeding, but it looks like his nose is bleeding. And so off that bunt attempt, it went off the nose of Talon Ball. So hopefully Mighty Mouse is going to be all right and be able to stay in the ball game. As Coach Vieira over to check on him. Riley Leininger over there. Chad Hennessy, the athletic trainer here at Georgetown High School, along with Vanessa Rudeau, two of the best in the business, out there to check on him, along with the student trainer, Avery Mon. So hopefully Talon will be all right. They'll be able to get the blood stopped here. I assume, Dave, that they give him a chance to attend to the injury and give him a chance to stay in the ball game if it's manageable.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. I think he's working right now on trying to control the bleeding and get it to stop. And it is possible, but it depends on if he injured his nose, how, if it could keep bleeding. But it looks like it. I tried to look and see. It doesn't look like it's a cut per se, but it just popped his nose pretty good, I think.
I think Chad Hennessy, the athletic trainer, I think put some gauze up in there to try to help stop the bleeding.
Hey, yeah, it's the playoffs. Let's go.
And I tell you what, Talon Ball probably one of the most physically strong athletes on this team.
I bet he wants to. He's like, come on, coach, let me keep batting.
Absolutely.
He doesn't want to sit down. So
Talon Ball on the Max Elite Wrestling team.
There we go.
One of the 5A top wrestlers in the state, finished third in his weight class. So it looks like Talon Ball is staying into play as he picks up his bat and goes back to the other side. The catcher, a nice move there by Cervantes, give him knuckles, make sure he's all right.
And he can rub some dirt on it tonight.
Rub some dirt on it. At home, you'd have to rub some rubber pellets.
You're right.
Good luck. Go find some dirt out in the parking lot. But now Talon Ball will step back in. No balls and one strike off the fouled off bunt attempt. Peterson down at second base. Brady Peters at first. A walk and a hit by a pitch. The 0-1 pitch from Votto. And Talon Ball will pop it back towards the screen. And now the count, no balls and two strikes to Talon Ball. So now Talon will have to protect himself. 0-2 the count here. No outs in the top of the first. The Bi-District Playoff Series underway here live at Nelson Field. A beautiful night. A little face wind coming in straight out of center field here at Nelson Field.
Do you remember the numbers for left field at Georgetown? If 310 is it further?
I think it's 323 down the lines.
So Talon, if he jacks one out there past.
The 0-2 pitch sent into center field. Nieto will come on for it, but the ball being blown back in. It's going to be a tough play, and Nieto can't hold on to it. He's going to throw all the way to third, but he overthrows the player, the third baseman, Ramirez. But Devin Peterson in that slide in got hurt. He's going to get up slowly, and he'll be awarded home base. Oh, the bag came up when he slid into it, so hopefully he didn't turn an ankle or hurt himself. But Devin Peterson will get to come in to score. Brady Peters will go to third base. Talon Ball should get to go to second base.
Let's get the Tide ready when we get back to Georgetown, and
Coach
maybe get a sewing machine ready for his britches there. When it's different sliding on this dirt than it is the AstroTurf back home, and so it's how do you practice for that? We don't have the facilities like that where you can slide on that dirt. So they're actually going to take a break in the play right now and work on third base and try and get it reset because it's loose.
So Brady Peters will end up at third base. 2 errors onto that play. They've only put one on the board. You're going to have one on the drop ball by Nieto, but then the throw that went over the head of Ramirez past the dugout down the third base line. That throwing error is what's going to have allowed Peterson to score from third base. So 2 big errors on that have given the Georgetown Eagles an early 1-0 lead, and now runners on second and third with no outs.
Yes, sir. Yep,
So while they try to fix the base, they're going to have to dig it out and prep the dirt. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, more Eagle baseball on SHN.
This broadcast of
that's
Georgetown
what you
Eagles
want, your
playoff
leadoff man.
baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com. Find out everything we can do for you.
Back here live at Nelson Field inside the SHN outside broadcast booth, brought to you by Borrow from Morrow. You know what? Special shout out. ATC Constructors, Inc., proud sponsors of the Bi-District Playoff Series. Thank you to them for bringing you and allowing this broadcast and this whole series to be brought to you free of charge to our listeners and viewers as we love covering Georgetown Eagle sports. Tonight, the athletic coordinator for Georgetown High School, Coach Chuck Griffin, the football coach, in the house with his wife Melanie, here to enjoy playoff baseball as well. Got it ready to go. Peters down at third, talent ball at second, no outs, and Riley Leininger will step in. The first pitch from Votto on the inside corner, called strike one. 0-1 to count to Riley Leininger. A 1-0 lead for your Georgetown Eagles here in the top of the first. Game number 1 here at Nelson Field. Game 2 tomorrow night back here on SHN will be at Eagle Field at Georgetown High School. The 0-1 pitch to Leininger, down low and in the dirt. Good stop there by Cervantes. And now the count, 1-1 strike. Shout out to our buddy Kelly Duvall on the road. I'm not able to be with us here tonight. But we back into his normal flow of teaching, and now the travels begin as he gets ready for football season. We talked today; he's ready for football already. Yeah. The 1-1 pitch to Leininger stays high for ball 2. 2-1 now. The count to the big left-handed hitter Riley Leininger on the mound tonight for your Eagles.
I'm noticing the billboard out there. They've got the pitch count, which is helpful for us. We're up to 15 for the Navarro pitcher.
Votto comes set. A look back at ball. The 2-1 pitch, and Leininger hits it. Second baseman will jump up and make the catch for out number 1. Nice play there by Galvan. And that'll be L4 in the book for out number 1 to retire Leininger. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Eli Hellman. Eli will step in from the right side with 1 out and runners on second and third.
Got a little help from the wind there. It was sure looking like it was going to be one of those Texas leaguers, and no, he made the catch.
And he easily scored both runs there, but yeah, the wind blew it in there. Nice play by Galvan to time his jump and rob the Eagles of a base hit there. So 1 out. Hellman steps in from the right side. Votto comes set in the stretch. He'll look over at third. The first pitch to Hellman, and it's way outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the senior shortstop, Eli Hellman. Jackson Rainey, the junior designated hitter, on deck for the Eagles.
I'm going to be curious to see if a passed ball gets back here, how it bounces back and how that play looks, and if third base can make it.
The 0-1 pitch, or 1-0 pitch, fouled off at the top of the clamshell, but comes back down into foul territory. 1-1 now, the count to Eli Hellman. Peterson led off the inning with a base on ball, stole second base, ended up scoring on a couple of errors by the Vikings. A drop fly ball after a hit by pitch. We got Brady Peters to first base. Talon ball hit a fly ball to center field, but Nieto couldn't hold on to it. He had to come in and run in full sprint. The 1-1 pitch to Hellman stays up and in. Ball 2. 2-1 to count now to Eli.
Very close to getting hit by pitch there. He did step. He did make a motion to get out of the way. So
2-1 now the count to Eli Hellman as he comes back in the box ready to go. Votto comes set. The 2-1 pitch, and Hellman will foul it back to the screen. 2-2 the count now.
Good turnout from Georgetown Eagle faithful tonight.
A lot of room here to enjoy a beautiful night. Tomorrow night, come join us live at Eagle Field, Georgetown High School, 7 o'clock first pitch for game number 2. We're here in the top of the first here in game number 1. The 2-2 pitch to Hellman. The breaking pitch in there, called third strike. We're out number 2. First strike out of the ball game for Votto. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Jackson Rainey. With 2 outs here in the top of the first. Rainey will step in from the left side. Rainey, the junior, steps in now with 2 outs and runners on second and third. An opportunity for some RBIs here. The Eagles like the 2-out rally. They seem to live and feast on the scoring runs with 2 outs. And an opportunity here as Rainey steps in from the left side. Votto will come set in the stretch. The first pitch to Rainey. And on the outside part of the plate for a called strike. 0-1 the count to the junior designated hitter, Jackson Rainey. On deck is Andrew Nations, the left fielder. Should Rainey be able to extend the inning? Votto comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Rainey lays off and takes it just high for ball 1. 1-1 the count now to Jackson Rainey. Brady Peters down at third base. Talon ball at second. The Eagles have 1 run on the board thanks to 2 Viking errors here in the top of the first. A 1-1 count with 2 outs. Rainey back ready to go. The 1-1 pitch from Votto, and that'll hit Rainey. And that'll have the bases loaded with 2 outs. The second batter hit by a pitch here in the inning for Georgetown. And that'll bring up Andrew Nations, the left fielder. He'll step in from the left side. The junior, number 10, for your Eagles, visited last night with us on the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live at the Golden Rule. And Nations stepped into one of the roles here, filled by vacancies filled by a lot of seniors that left. Nations has stepped in and done a great job in left field. Steps in here with the bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the first. Votto comes set. The first pitch to Nations, down low and inside. Nice block there by Cervantes. That was likely to get a run in easily there. So 1-0 the count to Andrew Nations. On deck, Chance Pernica moves. Nations, the number 7 hitter in the Eagle lineup. Here in the top of the first, bases loaded, 2 outs. Votto comes set, the 1-0 pitch. And that's a balk, and that'll score a run and move the runners up. The second base umpire. We have a 4-man umpire crew tonight. Usually you had 2 throughout the year, 3 in the last game against Bastrop as we got ready for the playoffs. But this balk here called on Votto scores Brady Peters. So it's no pitch on Andrew Nations there. So the count remains 1 ball and no strike. Talaball moves up to second base. Jackson Rainey up to first. 2-0 now your score for the Eagles. The 1-0 pitch. Nations a swing and a miss. Strike 1.
I think they're just still. It's going to take them an inning or 2 to adjust to the different speeds that he's throwing. So we'll see the bat start to light up here pretty soon. And then that combination with the balls and hit pitches and hit by pitch should be interesting.
The 2-1 pitch to Nation stays high, and it's actually 1-1. Now it's 2-1. The balk is a no pitch on that, so it just should be 2 balls and 1 strike to Andrew Nations. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Georgetown has 2 runs across. Runners on second and third. Votto comes set. The 2-1 pitch to Nations. Up and on the inside corner, called strike 2. And now a 2-2 count to the left fielder. Talon ball down at third base. Jackson Rainey down at second. Nations steps back in for the left side. Votto worked from the stretch the entire time. Comes set. Look back at second base. The 2-2 pitch. And that one's low and inside. Nice block. And they are going to call that a ball on that balk. So it is a walk for Nations. We'll give it to him. Second walk of the inning issued. That was a dead ball there on that ball call, but they gave it a ball. So now the base is loaded again, and that'll bring up Chance Pernica, the catcher for the Eagles.
Well, we appreciate everybody listening in on the stream. We're monitoring the stream if anybody's interested in letting us know where they're listening from. We got to meet some folks from Jacksonville, Texas. They drove 3.5 hours to be here, and they watched us every Tuesday and Friday night on the broadcast. So it was kind of fun to get to meet them. They were excited to say hi to us, and but we appreciate the opportunity to be able to bring the Eagles to the interwebs.
And I tell you what, and we love to do it, and we love the fact that we're able to do it free of charge again this year. Changes made by the UIL. We applied for it. ATC Contractors Incorporated bringing you the by-district playoff series, the proud sponsors of this, and so we appreciate them. Thank you so much to ATC Contractors. The first pitch to Pernica. Pernica sends it down the left field line, but he's going to pull it foul. He was timed that one up, but just a little bit out in front of it. 0-1 to count to Chance Pernica. A ball down that left field line. If it hits, scores at least 2 as they are off and running on contact here with 2 outs in the top of the first. A lot of pitches. You were talking about that pitch count over the board. Now past 30 for Votto.
Just aim towards that Southwest Airlines. It's heading into ABIA right now.
0-1 to count to Pernica from the right side. Votto comes set. That should have been a balk, no call. This one down low and outside in the dirt. Good block by the catcher, Cervantes. One thing to watch there, Votto, as he comes set, he brings his arms down late at the count, and he's not coming fully set before he goes. I'm surprised that one wasn't called a balk. Something to watch here as Votto stays in the stretch through runners on base or the base is empty. 1-1 to count to Pernica. Votto comes set here, the 1-1 pitch. Outside corner, called strike 2. 1-2 to count now.
Very generous strike zone. So maybe the Eagles will be able to take care of that when we come up to pitch.
Riley Leininger on the mound for your Eagles, the right-hander, the junior. Starts on the bump for the Eagles tonight. Pernica back in from the right side. Base is full of Eagles with 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch from Votto. Low and outside, Cervantes. I tell you what, we're going to say that name a lot. And he is doing a great job behind the plate. Another great block to keep that one
absolutely
from getting past.
He had to jump out there in front of that box. And
talk about laundry. Cervantes' uniform already dirty here in the top of the first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the first. The Eagles have the bases loaded. 2 runs across so far. Votto comes set. The 2-2 pitch to Pernica. Low and outside, ball 3, and now a full count. The number 9 hitter in the lineup, Jacob Faltasek, your senior right fielder on deck. wants a crack at this here at the top of the first. The Eagles trying to bat around.
You put yourself in the Navarro pitcher's, shoes and his cleats, and here he's got a full count, 2 outs. He really wants to get a nice strikeout here. So
Votto comes set. The payoff pitch stays high, ball 4. And that'll walk in the third run of the inning, and here comes Jacob Faltasek as Talon Ball will score on the base on balls. The third run of the inning for the Eagles, and they've done it here in the top of the first with no hits. 3 walks issued, 2 hit by pitches as Cord Lawrence comes out of the bullpen, or out of the dugout to a courtesy run for the catcher, Chance Pernica. The routine by the pitching staff is awesome. Back and forth here as the dugout moves. Chance Pernica draws the bases loaded at walk, so an RBI for Pernica on that as he scores Talon Ball from third base. And in steps Faltasek with bases loaded and 2 outs here in the top of the first. Faltasek from the right side, ready to go. Votto comes set. First pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. 3 walks, 2 hit batters has provided a lot of runners and a couple of big errors by the Vikings center fielder Nieto. And the Eagles lead it 3-0 here in the top of the first. Rainey down at third base. Nations at second. Cord Lawrence, the courtesy runner at first. The 1-0 pitch to Faltasek. Left field, base hit. Jacob Faltasek scores 1. He'll score a second one on the 2 RBI single. And now the Eagles have opened it up 5-0 here in the top of the first. The senior right fielder, Jacob Faltasek, with 2 RBIs on the first hit of the ballgame for your Eagles.
And the left fielder, it got to him, and he bobbled it a little bit, and that gave a little bit more time for the runners to get in safely and not have any issue.
So the Eagles bat around here in the top of the first as Devin Peterson comes back up.
Yeah.
Jackson Rainey scores, and Andrew Nations scores on the play. Cord Lawrence moves up to second. Faltasek at first base. 2 outs as Peterson steps in for the second time here in the inning. Takes the first pitch across for a called strike. 0-1 the count to the center fielder, Devin Peterson.
The Eagles are just taking advantage of opportunities here.
Peterson back in from the right side. Walked in his first plate appearance. The 0-1 pitch. Low and outside. Cervantes, another good block there. Keeps it in front of him. A 1-1 the count to Devin Peterson. 2 outs here in the top of the first. The Eagles lead it 5-0. Thanks in part there to a 2 RBI single with 2 outs. In the top of the first, Jacob Faltasek sends it to left field and scores Jackson Rainey and Andrew Nations. Votto comes set. The 1-1 pitch to Peterson. Up and in, ball 2. That gets away from Cervantes, a pass ball there, and that'll allow Cord Lawrence to move up to third base. Faltasek up to third. So now both runners in scoring position on that pass ball. A 2-1 count now to Devin Peterson with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. So the running now into play. The first time you see any kind of mistake behind the plate by Cervantes, it just popped out of his glove there on the inside pitch. And now a 2-1 count with runners on second and third. Votto comes set, the 2-1 pitch. Low and outside. Cervantes back out there where he enjoys it, down in the dirt, blocking that one, keeping it from another run. 3-1 now the count.
A lot of pitches have been to the outside, and plenty have been, at least 2 have been pretty far inside and got hit by a pitch, but it's really struggling with the strike zone.
3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs here at the top of the first. Runners on second and third for the Eagles. Devin Peterson up for his second time in the inning. The 3-1 pitch and a swing and a miss, strike 2. So a full count to Peterson here. The Eagles have 5 runs across here in the top of the first. We're in game 1 of the bi-district playoff series between your Georgetown Eagles, the District 23 champions, and the Navarro Vikings, the 4 seed out of District 24. Votto comes set. The payoff pitch to Peterson. Low and outside, ball 4. Another walk here in the inning as the base is loaded again for Georgetown. The 4th walk issued by Votto. And here comes a visit from head coach Jacob Anderson. We'll take a quick timeout. More Eagle baseball after this on SHN.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com. find out everything we can do for you.
And we're back here at Nelson Field inside the SHN broadcast booth, outside underneath the awning. Votto comes set. The first pitch to Brady Peters in his second plate appearance is outside and low for ball one. Peters, in his first time at the plate in the inning, was hit by a pitch, came around to score the second run for the Eagles. 5 here in the top of the first. Bases loaded with 2 outs. The number 11 hitter in the inning for the Eagles. The 1-0 pitch, and Peters sends it foul off the light stanchion in the dugout. 1-1 now the count to Brady Peters, the senior third baseman. 5 runs on 4 walks, 1 strikeout, 1 hit. That is a 2 RBI single by Faltasek. He's down at second base. Over at third base is Cord Lawrence. First base is Devin Peterson. The 1-1 pitch to Brady Peters, and Peters fouls it off down the first baseline as it goes out of play off of the concession stand area. It's not open, so don't jump up out of your seats and head over there. But off that building, and now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brady Peters. Here in the SHN broadcast booth, brought to you by Matt Morrow. Borrow from Morrow for all your mortgage needs. Visit borrowfrommorrow.com. Votto comes set. The 1-2 pitch to Peters. Outside and low in the dirt for ball 2. 2-2. Cervantes, another beautiful play there from behind the plate for the Vikings. Game 1 live here from Nelson Field in Austin, Texas, just off 290 in Berkman by the old Reagan High School, now Northeast Early College High School. The 2-2 pitch to Peters, up and in, hits him. Again. Second time in the inning, Peters has been hit, and that's an RBI on that one, as it'll bring in Cord Lawrence from third base, the 6th run of the inning for the Eagles. That'll move Faltasek up to second base, to third base. Devin Peterson up to second. Peters down to first base. That's the third batter hit by a pitch here in the inning, and that'll bring up Talon Ball. Mighty Mouse and his bloody nose. Hopefully he's doing all right. He steps back in.
He got a break in the bullpen after getting walked in, or after getting hit in.
And now he steps back in here with the bases loaded, 2 outs. He reached on an error by the center fielder, Nieto. Came around to score the 3rd run of the inning. Steps in here. First pitch from Votto. Ball takes it high for ball 1.
Not showing bunt this time.
Talon absolutely not showing bunt here. I think
2-out rally.
A 2-out rally. And the Eagles with 2 outs have plated a few runs. Faltasek, talk about that timely hit that scored 2 runs, was with 2 outs here in the inning. Votto comes set. The 1-0 pitch to Talon Ball. Outside and high, ball 2. 2-0 the count now to the second baseman on deck, Riley Leininger. Riley's first pitch of the ball game will come about 35-40 minutes into the broadcast. The Eagles have extended this first top half of the inning.
Do we have a spot to? We have a bullpen down there, right? Yep. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just start warming up again.
The 2-0 pitch to Talon Ball, up and out for ball 3. 3-0 the count now to the second baseman. Mighty Mouse 0 for 1 in the ball game. After a drop pop fly to center field, Nieto dropped it, and then the throw from Nieto followed up with a seconder as he threw it into the dugout. Allowed the first run of the ball game. The 3-0 pitch to Talon Ball, up and in, ball 4. An RBI walk by Talon Ball as the 7th run of the ball game for the Eagles. That's the 5th walk issued by Votto.
Looks like everything's under control with Talon. There's no more cotton in his nose, so that's a good sign.
So that'll score Faltasek from third base.
We're going to see a change in pitching.
And so we're going to make a call to the bullpen. We'll be right back here on SHN.
This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Nathaniel Funk, your Leander, Georgetown, Edward Jones financial advisor at 1640 Highland Falls Drive, Suite 801, Leander, Texas 78641. Learn how he can help you with your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com/Nathaniel Funk for more. This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
Back here live at Nelson Field in Austin, Texas. We're still on the top of the first. The bases loaded with 2 outs for the Eagles. So far, 7 runs in for the Eagles. As now the Vikings from Navarro have gone to the bullpen. It was the call to the bullpen brought to you by Nathaniel Funk, your Edward Jones financial advisor. Shortstop Bryce Pascal will come in, the sophomore right-hander, to the mound for the Vikings. The pitcher that started it out, Ketty Votto, will leave after 2 1/3+ innings, and he'll move out to shortstop, and him and Pascal will switch spots. So Pascal will step in here. 2 1/3, 2/3 of an inning, not 2 1/3 innings, 2/3 of an inning, plus for Votto, as he's responsible for all 3 base runners for the Eagles. Speaking of the third base runner,
we appreciate Jerry Ann in our ears keeping us straight over here.
Where is Talon Ball? There he comes out of the dugout. So Talon Ball back to first base. On second base, Brady Peters. Third base is Devin Peterson as Riley Leininger steps in. He lined out 0 for 1 in the ball game here in the first inning. Up for a second time in the inning. The first pitch from Pascal outside for ball 1. Leininger's line drive to the second baseman, Galvan. Thanks to the wind, knocking it down, and a timely jump there by Galvan to rip that one away. Was out number 1 in the inning. The 1-0 pitch up and away for ball 2. 2-0 the count to Riley Leininger. And a tough spot for Pascal to come into. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 7 runs already allowed here in the top half of the first. And so now to try to lock in and go after the number 4 hitter in the lineup. The 2-0 pitch up and away, ball 3.
He's kind of shaking his arm a little bit. Not sure if he's just trying to get warmed up or if he's got some type of injury.
Not a lot of chance warm-up pitches allowed for someone that doesn't come out of the bullpen, and it's a 4-pitch walk. An RBI on the base on balls by Leininger will score the run.
You know, and if you're Navarro, you're also looking at the defending state 5A champions over there in the other dugout. You know, so that's a, you know, little nerves, shake off the nerves, and, you know.
Leininger will score. Devin Peterson on that base on balls. And now Noah Boris will come on to courtesy run for the pitcher, Riley Leininger at first base. So Noah Boris takes to the bag, and Eli Hellman will step in. Eli struck out looking. And now they're going to send Nolan Jondo down to protect, and Leininger will go warm up for the bottom half of the inning. The first pitch to Eli Hellman. Low and outside. It gets past Cervantes. And here comes Brady Peters from third base, and he'll score standing up for the 9th run of the inning. That wild pitch by Pascal, the first wild pitch of the ball game. Cervantes has done a lot of great things behind the plate to keep that from happening. Unable to stop that one. 1-0 the count to Eli Hellman. Talon Ball moves up to third base. Riley Leininger, or Noah Boris, the courtesy runner, up to second base for the Eagles.
The infield is back, so even a base hit might.
And Hellman hits it into left field, and that's going to score at least 1 run. The left fielder up with it. He'll throw it in, but that's going to score 2 runs. 2 out, 2 RBI. And it'll be a single. Hellman safe at second base. He advances on the throw in as they were throwing it to the cutoff at third base. But a 2 RBI single with 2 outs for Eli Hellman makes it 11-0 here in the top of the first. Hellman now 1 for 1 in the ball game. He rights the ship after the strikeout.
Shows 10-0, but
should be 11.
Could be wrong. Should be 11.
Only the second hit for the Eagles here in the top half of the first, but two RBI singles, both with 2 outs. And now in steps Jackson Rainey. First pitch, outside corner, called strike 1.
That's good. I mean, you want to see him get comfortable and get some confidence.
The 0-1 pitch, low and outside, ball 1, so it evens up the count.
That ball had a little bit of heat behind it that time.
Pascal getting settled in and getting that arm warm. 1-1 the count to Rainey. The 1-1 pitch, low and outside, ball 2. 2-1 the count. The 2-1 pitch misses outside. Ball 3, 3-1 now the count. Jackson Rainey 0 for 1, or 0 for 0. He was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance here in the top of the first. The 3-1 pitch, and Rainey sends it down the left field line, but it's going to curl out of play. And that'll bring up a full count now to Jackson Rainey with 2 outs and a runner at second base. 11 runs in the inning for the Eagles on 2 hits. 6 walks, couple of errors. And now Jackson Rainey waits the payoff pitch, and Rainey hits it out towards second to second baseman Galvan up with it, throws to first. 4 out number 3. 4-3 on the put out to retire Rainey and the Eagles here in the top of the first, but not before they pick up 11 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 runner left on. After half an inning, Georgetown 11, Navarro coming up to bat here on SHN. Back with more Eagle baseball in just a moment.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you. The first inning of today's game is brought to you by borrowfrommorrow.com. Matt Morrow and his team is dedicated to providing the best mortgage experience possible by offering easy-to-use mortgage tools, including our handy mobile app, competitive rates, and assistance from a certified mortgage advisor. Matt understands the local markets, has access to a wide variety of loan programs, and is ready to guide you through the process. Your family, your future, our focus. For your mortgage needs, remember Matt Morrow. Borrow from Morrow. For more information, visit borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148.
As we go to the bottom of the first here in the SHN broadcast booth outside Nelson Field, brought to you by Matt Morrow and Borrow from Morrow. Riley Leininger finishes up his warm-ups.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't adjust your TVs just yet. You are looking at the bottom of the first after 37 minutes after the first pitch. So it was a long top of first.
The Eagles put up 11 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors by the Vikings, and 2 runners left on, but 6 walks, a couple 3-hit batsmen. And Leininger will face off against the pitcher now, Bryce Pascal. The right-hander steps in. Leininger's first pitch sells high for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Bryce Pascal. He started out at shortstop at the beginning of the ball game, ended up on the mound at the end of the first. 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike. 1-1 the count. Riley Leininger, the right-hander, works from the windup, first base side of the rubber here in the bottom of the first. The 1-1 pitch to Pascal. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1-2 the count to Bryce Pascal. Ketty Votto and Brandon Galvan on due up here in the bottom of the first for the Vikings. The 1-2 pitch, strike 3 called, and Pascal down for the first out of the bottom of the first. First strikeout by Leininger.
That's an interesting series of pitches that looked like he was just throwing heat right down the middle to challenge this Navarro team and see what they've got.
The first pitch hit out towards third. Peters up from a knee. He'll throw across the diamond. What a play! Brady Peters goes down and fields it, gets up off of his knees, throws it over to first base and flew it. For out number 2 as Votto put it into play on the first pitch. 5-3 on the putout for out number 2. Nice play there by the senior third baseman. And that'll bring up Brandon Galvan, the second baseman, here in the bottom of the first inning. Leininger ready to go here. They're waiting for Votto to get back around. A long run around from first base around back to the third base dugout. From the windup, the first pitch to Galvan is up high for ball 1. 1-0 the count. But you love to see the fact that Leininger able to lock in after a long break and not being able to go out and warm up. The 1-0 pitch to Galvan, a swing and a miss for strike 1. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, he kind of almost did a beginning of the inning type of warm-up out there. He probably had about 3-4 minutes just to kind of throw some pitches and keep that arm warm.
The 1-1 pitch from Leininger. Outside corner called strike 2. 1-2 now the count to Galvan.
Very favorable strike zone on that outside there. That was clearly, well, to me, I'm just a fireman, but it looked like it was on that line.
The 1-2 pitch fouled off down the first base line. Foul.
That's why I'm not an umpire.
Exactly. That's why I stay in the booth. 1-2
Yeah.
still the count to Galvan, the second baseman, the number 3 hitter here in the Viking lineup. Leininger, the 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch is dirty, and it's strike 3 called for out number 3, and the Vikings go in order here in the bottom of the first.
12 pitches.
After one complete inning, Georgetown 11, Navarro 0. More Eagle baseball continues after this on SHN.
Game is brought to you by G-Town Lumber and Supply. G-Town Lumber and Supply, located at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, serves general contractors, subcontractors, and do-it-yourselfers. We specialize in dimensional lumber, decking, siding, door and windows, hand-hewn timbers, KDAT lumber, and corbels. Hometown service like none other. Visit us at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, or visit our website at gtownlumberandsupply.com.
And we go to the top of the second inning here in the SHM broadcast booth, brought to you by Borrow from Morrow. ATC Contractors brings you the Bi-District Playoff Series. Proud sponsors of Georgetown Eagle Baseball. Andrew Nations will step in to lead off the top of the second against Pascal. The first pitch, Nation sends it into right center field, and that's going to be a leadoff base hit as he dumps it in between the center fielder and right fielder. Nieto up with it, and he'll throw it in. And so a leadoff base hit for Andrew Nations. Now he's 1 for 1 in the ball game. The third hit of the ball game for the Eagles. Here in the top of the second inning. 11 runs in the first inning for Georgetown. And now Chance Pernicka will step up. He walked back in the top of the first in his only plate appearance. Cord Lawrence ran for him, came around to score one of the 11 runs. The first pitch to Pernicka. He'll take it high on the top of the zone for a called strike, 0-1.
This pitcher seems to have a little more control. I wonder if they were wanting to hold him for tomorrow.
And the 0-1 pitch, and the cleat got stuck. And I think Pascal held up. He thought someone called time at home plate, so he didn't throw it. And he looks frustrated, like he thought time was called, so he didn't throw the pitch. And they're going to talk about it. I think he saw something, and rightly so. I mean, he immediately looked up like, wait. And so we'll see what the umpire's going to visit the umpire out at second base, called time and called the umpires in. So hopefully they get that right. Yeah, you don't need a ball called if it wasn't justified. And the young man Pascal immediately looked up like he thought someone called time at home.
It was an unusual movement, and I can see how he would.
At first, I thought his cleat got stuck in the dirt, but he clearly thought something happened at home plate, so he just, and they're going to call it right. Okay. So now Andrew will go back to first base. They're going to explain it to Coach Vieira, and I don't think Coach Vieira will argue with it, leading 11-0 here in the top of the second. But Andrew Nations will go back to first base. No outs here in the top of the second. 0-1 the count to Pernicka. So no pitch on that. And now we settle back in here as the third base umpire talks to Coach Vieira. And so we'll go back to play. Pernicka will step in from the right side. 0-1 the count. Here in the top of the second, no outs and a runner on first. The 0-1 pitch, and Pernicka fouls it back to the screen. The microphone's working there. Now 0-2 the count.
It's still working. That's good.
That's good.
Didn't take out the mic.
How our mic has survived over the few years when we put it back there where we positioned it.
I know.
Try to get great crowd mic location to bring you the best sounds of the ball game. 0-2 the count to Pernicka. The 0-2 pitch, top of the strike zone. Thought he called strike, and if it is, it's 3 strikes. Nope, 0-2. I don't know what they did. So now the count 0-2 again for Pernica. Not sure what happened there. The 0-2 pitch. Pernica sends it down the left field line, but it is going to push foul. So he got a hold of that one.
Oh, that would have been out.
So
it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. He's going to get it inside that yellow paint.
It's 2 shots down the left field line for Pernica. 0-2 the count here in the top of the second. Nations led us off with a base hit to right center field. So a runner on first base with no outs. 0-2 the count. Nations leads on first, being held on by Adame. Pascal comes set, the 0-2 pitch, and Pernica fouls it off on a check swing back to the backstop. 0-2 remains the count. On deck, the senior right fielder, Jacob Faltasek. 1 for 1 in the ball game is Faltasek with 2 RBIs. And a run scored. Pascal comes set. The 0-2 pitch to Pernica. Pernica called strike 3. Strikeout number 1 by Pascal. Out number 1 here in the top of the second. As Pernica goes down on a strikeout. That'll bring up Jacob Faltasek with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Nations down at first base. Georgetown put up 11 runs in the top of the first. They lead at 11-0 here in the top of the second inning. Faltasek 1 for 1 in the ball game. As he steps in here, the first pitch from Pascal loses balance. Pass ball gets past Cervantes. And Nations will cruise into second base on that pass ball. 1-0 the count to Jacob Faltasek, your senior right fielder. On deck, Devin Peterson. Here in the top of the second inning, Georgetown. There's a runner on second and 1 out. 1-0 pitch to Faltasek, up and in. And that hit him, so Faltasek will head down to first base on the hit by pitch. So Faltasek has reached base in both plate appearances now. A base hit, an RBI single with 2 outs in the top of the first, and now a hit by a pitch. He's down at first base. Nations at second with 1 out, and in steps Devin Peterson, the leadoff man for the Eagles.
So this is the third time to bat around?
Peterson 0 for 0 in the ball game, 2 base on balls. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Peterson walked in both plate appearances in the first inning. Came around to score 2 of the 11 runs. Steps in here in the top of the second with runners on first and second, 1 out. The 1-0 pitch, low and outside. Nice block there by Cervantes. 2-0 the count to the junior center fielder. With the ripped pants. Slid into the third base. It came loose. The 2-0 pitch.
Oh.
And that hit Devin Peterson. So the base is loaded on the back-to-back hit by a pitch. Peterson's reached base in all 3 plate appearances. 1, 2, 3, 5 batters hit by a pitch so far in the ballgame for the Eagles. And that'll bring up Brady Peters. He's 0 for 0 in the ballgame. Was hit by a pitch in both plate appearances in the first inning. Steps in here with 1 out and the bases loaded. The first pitch outside corner called strike 1. Peters, the senior third baseman. Nice defensive play in the bottom half of the first inning to throw out Votto. The 0-1 pitch. Peters fouls it off back to the backstop. 0-2 now the count to Brady Peters. Talon ball waits on deck for the Eagles here in the top of the second. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases loaded for the Eagles here in the top of the second. Pascal comes set, the 0-2 pitch. Peters off the fist, out towards second. Nice play there. The Faltasek will be doubled up at second base, and the Eagles are down here in the top of the second. The line drive caught by Galvan. He steps on second base as Faltasek was off and running. And so he gets doubled off, and the Eagles' inning comes to an end. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. After 1.5 innings, Georgetown 11, Navarro 0. More Eagle baseball on SHN in just a moment.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you. The second inning of today's game is brought to you by G-Town Lumber and Supply. G-Town Lumber and Supply, located at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, serves general contractors, subcontractors, and do-it-yourselfers. We specialize in dimensional lumber, decking, siding, door and windows, hand-hewn timbers, KDAT lumber, and corbels. Hometown service like none other. Visit us at 9400 Brown Lane in Austin, Texas, or visit our website at gtownlumberandsupply.com.
Go to the bottom of the second inning. Riley Leininger back on the mound for the Eagles. Faces off against Ramirez here to start the bottom of the second. Low and outside for ball one. Ramirez, Cervantes, and Tellez, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, due up here for Navarro in the bottom of the second. Leininger from the windup. The 1-0 pitch, a swing and a miss. Strike one, 1-1 to count. Base hit, or ball hit out towards short. A nice hop there to Hellman. He'll fire across the diamond in time. Nice play by the shortstop, Eli Hellman. That one was hit out to him, and it took a nice hop right up into the glove on the backhand.
It did. It hit that grass right before the dirt and hopped up a little higher than you would expect. Of course, we're used to the turf, but this grass is going to act differently, so the infield needs to be prepared for that.
Eli Hellman ready for it, fielded it about eye level and fired across the diamond. 6-3 on the putout, and in steps Cervantes, the catcher. Leininger from the windup. The first pitch to Cervantes, outside corner, called strike one. 0-1 to count. Leininger 10 pitches thrown in the first inning. So you put the Navarro Vikings down in order. The 0-1 pitch to Cervantes, inside for ball one. 1-1 to count. Defensively for your Eagles, Nations in left, Peterson in center, Fault to second right. Timeout called at the plate by Cervantes, so Leininger will hold up there. Defensively for the Eagles on the infield, Peters at third, Hellman at short, Talon Ball at second, Fluid at first base. Behind the plate is Pernica. Leininger fires the 1-1 pitch, misses low and outside, ball two. 2-1 the count now to Damian Cervantes, the catcher. And his first time up to bat here in game number one, the bi-district series between the Navarro Vikings and your Georgetown Eagles. The 2-1 pitch, low and outside in the dirt. 3-1 now the count to Cervantes. Zach Tellez on deck for the Vikings. Game number two tomorrow night back at Georgetown High School, Eagle Field, 7 o'clock first pitch. Join us live there at Georgetown High School. The 3-1 pitch, a swing and a miss. The count goes full now to Cervantes with one out here in the bottom of the second. Leininger ready to go. As soon as the batter stepped back in, Cervantes wasn't ready. He called time and stepped out real quick. And now Leininger waits and ready to go. The payoff pitch to Cervantes. Swing and a miss, strike three. Strikeout number 3 on the ball game for Riley Leininger. And that'll bring up Tellez for the Vikings. Tellez is the left fielder for the Vikings. He steps in here with 2 outs and the base is empty in the bottom of the second. 11-0, Georgetown leads it over the Vikings. Leininger gets the sign from Pernica. Now he'll step off and reset. Tellez from the right side, ready to go. The first pitch. Down low, ball one. Leininger remains in the windup. Works from the first base side of the rubber. The 1-0 pitch. Stays low, ball two. Nice scoop there by Pernica to pick it out of the dirt. Leininger gets the sign from the windup. The 2-0 pitch to Tellez. Low and outside, ball 3. The first 3-0 count that Leininger has had tonight here in the ball game here in the second inning. 2 outs and the base is empty. Leininger, the 3-0 pitch. And that's high, ball 4. A 2-out walk gives the Navarro Vikings their first base runner of the ball game. And that'll bring up the first baseman, number 18, Carlos Adame. Carlos Adame steps in from the right side for his first at bat. 2 outs and a runner at first base. Leininger moves to the stretch now with the runner at first. Tellez leads off there, held on by Fluid. First pitch to Adame. Down low, ball 1. Coach Beer coaching from the dugout to Leininger. Now here comes Eli Hellman. Going to chat with his buddy there on the mound. Get things settled in for Riley Leininger. 10 pitches thrown in the in the bottom of the first. 14 right now here in the bottom of the second.
You know, it's got to be difficult. You rattle off 11 in the first. And how do you – it's almost like you almost have to catch your composure now. and like, okay, we
Lock
really
back
still
in.
have to play baseball.
Leininger comes set, the 1-0 pitch. Outside corner, called strike one. Evens out the count. 1-1 now to Adame, the first baseman, the number 7 hitter in the Vikings lineup. Tellez with a 2-out walk down at first base leads off. Leininger comes set, the 1-1 pitch. A swing and a miss by Adame, and now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Adame, a sophomore for the Vikings, steps back in from the right side. Leininger comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Just misses low for ball 2. 2-2 now the count to Carlos Adame. Chris Torres, the right fielder, on deck for the Vikings. Should Adame extend the inning? Leininger comes set. Tellez leads off first. The 2-2 pitch. Up and away, ball 3, and now a full count to Adame. Full count with 2 outs and a runner at first. Here in the bottom of the second, Georgetown leads at 11-0 over the Navarro Vikings. Leininger gets a sign from Pernica and comes set. The payoff pitch to Adame. Low and outside, ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out walks, has runners on first and second now for the Vikings.
Starting to have some struggles here. Kind of wonder what's going on.
And something we'll talk about it, and I hate to do it, but we got to talk about it. The last 2 starts for Leininger, it's the second inning he struggled with against Eastview, the big one.
Okay.
He gave up the 3 runs on a few walks, a hit batter, and then that 1 timely base hit by Ryan Pullen. He gave the Eastview Patriots their 3 runs. They ended up holding on to it and winning that ball game. But he recovered after that and pitched well. And so getting through that second inning, it seems to be the pattern lately. The first pitch to Torres is on the outside corner for a called strike. But no hill for a climber, as they say. Leininger will settle back in and continue to do well, but it's been the pattern the last 3 starts for him.
Right, and you put it in play, and you back up on your defense and allow them to make those outs at first base as a strike is called.
Now an 0-2 count to Chris Torres, the right fielder, with 2 outs and runners on first and second. 2 2-out walks issued by Leininger. Have the Vikings base runners at first and second. The 0-2 pitch. And just low for ball 1, 1-2. Now the count. Sirens in the background, as you see over the wall there, going down 290 EMS. Shout out to our first responders, firefighters, paramedics, police officers out there protecting us each and every night.
As Kelly would say, the firemen are the second responders.
Second responders. The 1-2 pitch gets away from Pernica back to the screen, and that will allow Adame and Tellez to move up into scoring position.
Right. So you got 2 outs, 2-2 call. Just get it out right here.
And you got to think, Coach Vieira telling Leininger, go right after him. Get out of this inning. Let's go.
Right.
Move forward. Don't want to surrender any runs here. 2-2 the count. 2-2 with 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch from Leininger. Low and outside, ball 3, and now a full count to Chris Torres with Brian Nieto, the center fielder, on deck, the number 9 hitter for the Vikings. Coach Vieira's going to let Leininger work through this.
Yeah.
No one up in the bullpen. 3-2 the count to Torres. Leininger gets the sign. The payoff pitch. Low, ball 4. 3 walks in a row. Has the bases loaded for the Vikings. And now this will bring up Brian Nieto. And this will bring a visit from the pitching coach, Chad Payne.
So the batter's getting counseled by the coach from the first base side.
So we'll take a quick timeout as Coach Payne will go out and visit with Leininger. Back with more Eagle Baseball on SHN.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our www.
And that visit ended quicker than we expected. So now Leininger back up against Nieto, a swing and a miss on the first pitch, 0-1 the count. And I think you're right. Dave and I talking off air. Just Coach Payne out there. Hey, lock in, settle down. Let's get out of this.
Keep it simple.
The 0-1 pitch is low and in the dirt. Ball 1, 1-1 the count. And one thing that you don't want to do, even in a situation like this when you're up 11, early in the ball game is start going to your bullpen early.
No.
The 1-1 pitch, low in the dirt for ball 2, 2-1 now the count. Even though the Eagles have a long and a deep bullpen, you still got game 2 and worry about game 3. You got to be prepared for those, and so you got to let Leininger kind of feel his way out of this. 2-1 the count to Nieto, the number 9 hitter for the Vikings. Doesn't get the timeout. The breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Good job by Leininger to continue in his motion.
He's mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, that was a nice little nice pitch.
The 2-2 pitch to Nieto. The breaking pitch in there, called strike 3, and the Eagles get out of it without any damage. A bases loaded jam with 2 outs. And Leininger gets the strikeout for the 4th of the ball game.
And he gets a chance to visit with the coaches even more. They'll build his confidence up. 3rd inning will be great.
After 2 complete innings, Georgetown 11, the Vikings 0 that inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, and the bases left loaded. We'll be back with more Eagle Baseball after this on SHN.
The 3rd inning of today's game is brought to you by Nathaniel Funk, your Leander, Georgetown, Edward Jones financial advisor at 1640 Highland Falls Drive, Suite 801, Leander, Texas, 78641. Learn how he can help you with your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com/Nathaniel Funk for more. This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
We go to the top of the 3rd inning. The Eagles will bring up the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Talon Ball, Riley Leininger, and Eli Hellman, leading it 11-0 over the Navarro Vikings. The Eagles have 3 hits in those 11 runs, have been walked 6 times, have been hit by 5 pitches. Ball steps in. 0 for 1 in the ball game. Reached on an error in the first and walked in the second plate appearance in the first. This pitch sent into left center field. Nieto got to give chase, and he'll leap and make the catch on the run. Nice play there by Nieto. F8 in the book to retire Talon Ball here in the top of the 3rd. Nice play there by Nieto. And in steps Riley Leininger. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Lined out in his first plate appearance in the 1st inning. In the second plate appearance, reached on a base on balls, came around to score a run. Steps in here with 1 out, and the base is empty in the top of the 3rd for the Eagles.
I'm just quietly looking forward to our catcher coming back up, see if he can hit it over that left field wall.
First pitch from Pascal to Leininger, up and away for ball 1, 1-0 the count. Pascal came in with 2 outs in the top of the 1st inning. Since then, he has allowed 2 hits, 1 run. Struck out 1, walked 1, hit 2, and 1 wild pitch. Gets a called strike there. 1-1 now the count to Leininger. The 1-1 pitch. Leininger up and away, ball 2. Nice take there by Leininger. Heading the count now, 2 balls and a strike. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. The 2-1 pitch to Leininger. Way outside, ball 3. Now a 3-1 count to the left-handed hitting Riley Leininger with Eli Hellman on deck for the Eagles. Pascal comes set, the 3-1 pitch. And Leininger takes a hack at it, drives it down the left field line. It's curling out of play. And it will go for a foul ball. Strike 2 now. So a full count to Leininger.
Interestingly enough, there's the field actually goes uphill right there. There's a line they had to paint out there. So I guess you could stand at that line and hold your glove over, but you can't run up that field.
The payoff pitch to Leininger. He fouls it back out of play. And stays alive in the at-bat. 3 balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out in the top of the 3rd.
It's like the grassy knoll or something over there.
3-2 count to Leininger, the pitch. Leininger hits it down the right field line, and it's fair. That'll be extra bases. It runs all the way to the corner and up the hill to the wall. Leininger was going to circle. He'll pass second base, and he's headed to third. And that's going to be a one-out stand-up triple for Riley Leininger. Nice shot there as he pulled that one down the first baseline. And it ran up that hill off the wall. And I tell you what, it was a long run for Torres, but he did a good job to get it in. And now Noah Boris will head to third base. The courtesy run for the pitcher, Riley Leininger.
You got to catch his breath.
A nice one-out triple by Riley Leininger. Noah Boris heads down to third base. And in steps Eli Hellman. Here with one out. Fourth hit of the ball game for the Eagles. Hellman 1 for 2 on the night. He had a 2 RBI single in his second plate appearance. Takes the first pitch on the top half of the zone for a called strike. Struck out looking in his first plate appearance. So 1 for 2 on the night. I thought I had a walk. I apologize. 1 for 2 on the night for Eli Hellman. The 0-1 pitch, ground ball hit out towards short. Votto up with it, throws across the diamond. And for out number 2, but that's an RBI for Eli Hellman. His third of the ball game. 6-3 on the putout by Votto. But that'll score Noah Boris from third base. So the Eagles take a 12-0 lead. Here in the top of the third. And with 2 outs, in steps Jackson Rainey. The DH, 0 for 1 of the ball game. Was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. Came around to score a run. His second plate appearance in the top of the first. He grounded out. And now a 1-0 count. Pascal's pitch outside for ball 2. So 0 for 1 in the ball game is Rainey as he steps in with the bases empty and 2 outs here in the top of the third. The 2-0 pitch. Low gets past Cervantes back to the screen. 3-0 now the count to Jackson Rainey with Andrew Nations on deck for the Eagles. Pascal comes set in the stretch. The 3-0 pitch. Rainey takes it high for a 2-out walk. Second walk issued by Pascal, 7th of the night.
What did Nations do last time he was up?
He had the base hit, singled, and then moved up to second, was left stranded at third base. He's 1 for 1 on the night, walked in the first inning, scored a run, and then had that leadoff single in the top of the second. Steps in here with a runner on first and 2 outs in the top of the third. Pascal's pitch. Nations takes it for a called strike. 0-1 the count to the left-handed hitting left fielder, Andrew Nations, with Chance Pernica on deck for the Eagles. Pascal comes set, the 0-1 pitch. Down low, ball 1, 1-1 the count. Nations back in from the left side. Pascal comes set in the stretch. The 1-1 pitch, and that hits him. So Andrew Nations has reached base in all 3 plate appearances tonight.
That's 6 or 7 hit by pitch.
Number 6 on the hit by pitch. And that'll bring up Chance Pernica with 2 outs and runners at first and second. Rainey will move up to second base. Nations down to first base. Pernica 0 for 1 in the ball game. Walked and scored a run in the first inning. Struck out looking in the top of the second. Gets the signs from Coach Vieira and steps in from the right side. Pascal comes set. The first pitch to Pernica. Check swing for strike 1. 0-1 the count to Pernica with 2 outs. The sun starts to set in the background. Beautiful night here. The 0-1 pitch to Pernica stays high, ball 1. ATC Contractors, Inc., proud sponsors this bi-district playoff series. The 1-1 pitch fouled off back behind home plate towards the third base dugout. And now Pernica behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the third.
Flag's still whipping out there. Wind still south at 7 miles an hour, so still got a little bit of a breeze, but it is cooling off to 78 degrees right now, so it's nice.
We appreciate that.
Beautiful evening.
The 1-2 pitch. Pernica holds off and takes it just high, ball 2, and count evens out at 2-2 now. With 2 outs and runners on first and second here in the top of the third. 11 runs in the top of the first, 1 here in the top of the third. Eagles lead at 12-0. The 2-2 pitch, and Pernica pops it up into left field. The left fielder, Tellez, gives chase back, to his left and makes the catch for out number 3. F7 in the book to retire Pernica and the Eagles here in the top of the third, but not before they get one run on one hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on. After 2.5 innings, Georgetown 12, Navarro 0. More Eagle baseball after this on SHN.
The third inning of today's game is brought to you by Nathaniel Funk, your Leininger, Georgetown, Edward Jones financial advisor at 1640 Highland Falls Drive, Suite 801, Leander, Texas, 78641. Learn how he can help you with your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com/Nathaniel Funk for more. The Morrow from Morrow broadcast booth is sponsored by our friend and longtime supporter Matt Morrow at borrowfrommorrow.com. Matt Morrow and his team is dedicated to providing the best mortgage experience possible by offering easy-to-use mortgage tools, including our handy mobile app, competitive rates, and assistance from a certified mortgage advisor. Matt understands the local markets, has access to a wide variety of loan programs, and is ready to guide you through the process. Your family, your future, our focus. For your mortgage needs, remember Matt Morrow. Borrow from Morrow. For more information, visit borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148.
Radars.
Go to the bottom of the third inning. Georgetown leads at 12-0 over the Navarro Vikings. Riley Leininger on to work his third inning here in the ballgame for the Eagles, as he will face off against the 1, 2, and 3 hitters for the Vikings, Pascal, Votto, and Galvan. Pernica throws down to Hellman at second base.
He always does such a really nice job of throwing down there at second base, putting it right there where the kid's going to be sliding in, you know.
10 pitches in the first inning for Leininger, 30 in the second, 40 here in the ballgame as he faces off against Pascal, the first strikeout victim of the ballgame. The first pitch in there for a called strike to the leadoff man, Bryce Pascal. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2, Leininger. 2 quick fastballs. Pascal calls time and wants to get set. Leininger wastes no time. It's one thing about him. He works quickly on the mound. He and Pernica quickly in sync. And now the 0-2 pitch. The big bender just misses high. I think Pascal thought that one was over, so he grabbed the barrel of the bat. Now a 1-2 count to the leadoff man, Bryce Pascal. The 1-2 pitch from Leininger. Down and in the dirt. Good block there by Pernica. 2-2 now. The count to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the third for the Vikings. The pitcher, Bryce Pascal.
Shout out to A.T. Graham listening in on the stream. We appreciate you listening. We've got about 81 folks listening in.
The 2-2 pitch. Inside corner, called strike 3. For out number 1, second strikeout of the ballgame for Pascal. 5th of the night by Riley Leininger. And that'll bring up Ketty Votto, the shortstop. He grounded out to Brady Peters back in the bottom of the first. He's 0-for-1 in the ballgame. Leininger ready to go. The helicopter flies over. The first pitch on the outside corner of the big breaking pitch. 0-1 to count. Probably Starflight flying over. Their office is not far away from here.
Oh, that's right. It's off Springdale now.
Right off Springdale. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Votto. Chased that one down in the dirt. Now 0-2 the count.
I'm aging myself. I remember when they were at Brack.
Brack now a big parking lot, big building, office building, part of the hospital. 0-2, chases it high for strike 3. Another strikeout for Riley Leininger, 6th of the ball game, as Votto chased a high inside heater for out number 2.
He's locking us down like we were talking about earlier. Second inning, you know, but now the third inning is completely different.
Brandon Galvan steps in. First pitch, big bender on the outside corner, called strike 1. Galvan 0-for-1 in the ballgame. Struck out looking back in the first. Steps in here with 2 outs and the base is empty for the Vikings here in the bottom of the third. Leininger's 0-1 pitch. Breaker down in the dirt. Nice block by Pernica. Evens up the count at 1-1 on that ball. Leininger ready to go as Galvan steps back in. The 1-1 pitch from Leininger. Swing and a miss, strike 2. I think Leininger locking right back in where he was after inning number 1.
Yeah.
A rough second inning, but it did a good job of getting out of a bases-loaded jam there with 2 outs and not giving up a run. The 1-2 pitch from Leininger. Strike 3 called, and the Eagles get out of the bottom of the third thanks to Riley Leininger striking out the side. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night on that inning. The 7th strikeout of the ball game from Leininger, and after 3 complete, the Eagles lead it 12-0. More Eagle baseball after this on SHN.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com to find out everything we can do for you.
We come back here to Nelson Field, the SHN broadcast booth, brought to you by Matt Morrow, Borrow from Morrow. Tell you what, I'm excited. You shouted out Austin, A.T. Graham there, Austin Graham. I tell you what, it made me think about it. Man, I can't wait for football. Holden Tuma, our statistician, will become a permanent fixture in the broadcast booth at football time for SHN and our broadcast team, me, you, and Kelly. But Holden will join us. He's going to go to Southwestern University there in Georgetown and come on with us on the broadcast team. Excited. We've got to order a new set of headphones, get him his own pair. He's going to be a part of the I can't even tell it. I haven't had dinner with him. I can't spell it. We're excited. He's going to be a part of that broadcast. And
getting to, when we first met him, when he first started coming hanging out with us, that was the mic in pass ball. You can see he was like, who are these? These guys are freaking nuts.
Who are these goobers?
And it's just how firemen and police officers are. We're just kind of goofy just because we have to have a light sense of humor, So, but as the season went on, he settled in, and it was so much fun getting his perspective at halftime. Because at first he was like, it sounds silly. I was like, no, that's actually awesome. You're doing a great job. And so, we saw his confidence grow, and he does do a phenomenal job. He's really in tune with what's going on with the game and pays very close attention. And so it's an absolute pleasure having him on the call because his perspective and to be able to mentor somebody, and of course not like we're professionals. If he wants to be a fireman, I can mentor him, but just show him how we try and do broadcast and emulate the pros and all that. It's a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun to have him a part of the broadcast, and glad he's staying at Southwestern. Honored that he wanted to be a part of it and join us and stay close to home so he could be a part of it with us. And so we look forward to Holden joining us. And now a pinch hitter here in the top of the fourth for the Eagles in the number 9 spot. Riley Hill will step in. The right-handed junior will face off against the new reliever for the Navarro Vikings. That's number 11, Neighbor Ramirez. He comes in from third base to pitch.
Howdy, Neighbor.
Pascal goes out to shortstop, and Votto moves over to third base. The 1-0 pitch gets past Cervantes for 2-0 count now to Riley Hill as he leads off the top of the fourth for the Eagles here in a pinch hit. In the number 9 slot for Faltasek. Ramirez from the stretch. The 2-0 pitch up and in, ball 3.
Almost. If he didn't lean back, that was coming right at him. So, you get to a point you want to tell your batters, hey, let's don't get hit anymore. Just really get out of the way,
Because you don't want useless injuries.
Yeah, you don't want anybody getting hurt.
The 3-0 pitch stays up and in, ball 4, so a leadoff walk to Riley Hill. Has the first man aboard here in the top of the fourth for the Eagles. First walk issued by Ramirez, and now in steps the leadoff man, Devin Peterson. He still remains 0 for 0 in 3 plate appearances. He walked twice in the first inning, was hit by a pitch in the third. Steps in here in the top of the fourth, or in the top of the second is when he was hit by the pitch. Steps in here in the top of the fourth with no outs and a runner at first. The first pitch is just high for ball 1. On deck, Brady Peters, the third baseman for the Eagles. Here in the top half of the fourth inning, leading at 12-0. Ramirez, the 1-0 pitch. Sails high, ball 2.
Devin Road Rash
And they'll
Peterson.
call a balk there. Road Rash Peterson as he slid into third base and the bag came up, tore his pants.
Yeah.
So they'll move Riley Hill up to second base. They'll call a balk there. As Ramirez was coming from the stretch but went kind of in emotion from the windup. The ball called. Now Ramirez will come set and look back at second base. The 2-0 pitch to Peterson. Low for ball 3. Here, Jared Frimmel, the manager, giving out instructions down on the first base side for the Eagles. So Georgetown Eagles here in the Pine District Playoff Series. The Georgetown Eagles, the District 23 champions, taking on the 4-seed Navarro Vikings out of District 24. McCallum, the District 24 champions, taking on the Eastview Patriots in the first round. The 3-0 pitch, inside corner, called strike 1 as Peterson was taking there. 3-1 count now to Peterson with no outs and a runner at second base. McCallum plays Eastview in the first round. Elgin takes on Crockett, and Pflugerville takes on Lassa. The 3-1 pitch in there for a called strike.
McCallum did pretty good in their district, right? 14-0.
Yeah, McCallum, yep, 22-8-1 on the year, 14-0 in district play. Lassa, 20-10-1 on the year, 11-3 in district play. So those will be interesting battles against Eastview and Pflugerville. The 3-2 pitch down in the dirt gets away from the catcher. That's going to be a 2-2 pitch. They're going to have called that one on the balk as a ball. They got it right that time. So that'll be 3-2 now as that one got away, but that allowed Riley Hill to move up to third base on the wild pitch. First wild pitch by Ramirez, second of the ball game for Navarro. The 3-2 pitch to Peterson. Top half of the zone, ball 4. No, called strike 3, and Peterson will sit down. Delayed strike 3 call there. He strikes out looking for out number 1.
You know, but you do advance your base runner pretty easily on a balk and a pass ball from first to third. So, you know, Georgetown just having so many opportunities tonight to, you know, run up the score.
Brady Peters steps in. 1 out and a runner on third. The pitch on the outside corner called strike 1.
Yeah, it
Peters
is.
0 for 1 in the ball game. Was hit by a pitch 2 times in the first inning in both his bats, and then lined out to the second baseman in the top of the second inning. So 0 for 1 on the night. An 0-1 count here. The 0-1 pitch, outside corner.
That's
called strike 2. The
well,
strike zone has expanded with a 12-0 lead.
It has, yeah. It's out there, and that ball was, both of those last 2 pitches were in the other batter's box, but that's fine.
0-2 count now to Brady Peters. Neighbor Ramirez comes set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. And Peters fouls it off back to the screen. Stays alive in the at-bat. 0-2. In the on-deck circle for Talon Paul is a pinch hitter for your Eagles. That'll be number 5, TJ Warren. As he warms up in the on-deck circle. Ramirez delivers the 0-2 pitch. And that's down in the dirt. Nice block by Cervantes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the count to Brady Peters, the senior third baseman. TJ Warren will bat in the number 3 slot for Talon Ball here in the top of the 4th inning. Ramirez comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Peters a swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout by Ramirez, second out of the inning for the Eagles. And that'll bring up TJ Warren, the junior. Will step in from the right side. Hitting in the number 3 batter spot. First pitch, outside corner, called strike 1. A little outside there. TJ looks up towards the dugout like, what?
Yeah.
0-1 the count.
I mean, I wonder what happened if you switch boxes.
The 0-1 pitch, and Warren hits it out towards third. Fielded there by Votto. He'll come up, throw across the diamond. Nice play by Votto to retire T.J. Warren and the Eagles here in the top of the 4th. 5-3 on the putout, and the Eagles strand a runner at third base after the leadoff walk. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base after 3.5. Georgetown 12, Navarro 0. More Eagle baseball here in just a moment on SHN.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com. find out everything we can do for you.
We go to the bottom of the fourth. Leininger on for his fourth inning of work. First pitch misses just low for ball one. Some defensive substitutions for the Eagles. Cooper Ashby goes to first base for Fluid. Out at second base will be T.J. Warren. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, strike one by Ramirez. Ramirez, Cervantes, and Tellez due up here. Ramirez, 1-1 pitch is in there for a called strike. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game, grounded out to shortstop in the second inning. A 1-2 count from Leininger. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch hit down towards first. Bounces high. What a play there by Cooper Ashby. He stays with it, fields it on the high hop, and steps on the base. 3 unassisted for out number 1. So Ashby comes in and gets some quick action down at first base, and a nice play there by the junior first baseman. So he fields that and takes the play, 3 unassisted to retire Ramirez. And in steps Damian Cervantes, the catcher. He's 0 for 1 in the ballgame. Struck out swinging back in the second inning. Noah Boris now in left field for the Eagles. Riley Hill in right field for your Georgetown Eagles defensively. Leininger from the windup. The first pitch hit out towards second base. T.J. Warren up with it. Fires to Ashby at first for the second out of the inning. 4-3 on the putout to retire Cervantes. So 2 defensive subs, 2 quick plays.
I like it.
And Eagles have 2 outs here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. The Eagles just need to maintain law and order here in the fourth and fifth inning. Get out of here with a run roll and go to the game 2 tomorrow night back at home with a chance to move through by district with a 2-0 win, 2-game win. But an opportunity here for the Eagles to get some defensive work in, some players into the ball game, multiple subs, and Leininger rocking and rolling through 3 2/3 innings so far. First pitch called strike to Tellez. He reached on the base on balls back in the second inning, was left stuck at third base. The 0-1 pitch, low and outside for ball 1, evens up the count 1-1 now to Zach Tellez. 7 o'clock first pitch, game 2 tomorrow, the bi-district matchup between the Navarro Vikings and your Eagles. Oh, dirty 1-1 pitch there. Big breaker, catches the outside corner, 1-2. Nice looking breaking pitch there from Leininger. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the 1-2 pitch.
Nope.
And that big bender over the head of Tellez.
Sorry.
He ducks under that one.
Dave
Dave ducked
quiet.
up here in the booth. Dave ducked the high and inside pitch. 2-2 pitch. This bender misses wide and outside for ball 3. 3-2 now to Tellez.
Just outside the strike zone.
Leininger works here with 2 outs and the base is empty. The payoff pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Vikings go in order here in the bottom of the fourth. The 8th strikeout of the night for Leininger. And after 4 complete innings, Georgetown 12, Navarro 0. More Eagle baseball after this on SHN. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Riley Leininger will lead things off with Eli Hellman right behind him in the order. Leininger cruising through in the ballgame. 30 pitches there in that 2nd inning, 12 in the 3rd, 11 in the 4th. And so he's 63 pitches through 4 innings for Leininger, as Ramirez on to pitch his 2nd inning for the Vikings here in relief. As we go to the top of the 5th, Leininger will step in. Leininger so far in the ballgame, 0 for 1, a line out in the first plate appearance in the 1st inning. Walked the next 2 times at the plate. Steps in here to lead things off in the top of the 5th. The first pitch from Ramirez way up high for ball 1. 7 p.m. first pitch tomorrow, live from Eagle Field at Georgetown High School. 6:45 pregame live here on SHN. Thanks in part to ATC Contractors, Inc., proud sponsors of the Bi-District Playoff Series. The 1-0 pitch, outside corner, called strike 1. 1-1 now the count to Riley Leininger. Top of the inning here for the Eagles. Lead at 12-0 over the Navarro Vikings. Ramirez, 1-1 pitch. Sails high, ball 2. 2-1 now to Leininger.
Shout out to Kathleen Leininger listening in on the broadcast, and Taylor Reynolds, class of 2010 for your Eagles.
And I got to correct it. Leininger is 1 for 2. That was a triple last inning, not a single, or not a walk. And now a swing and miss on the 2-1 pitch. Now 2-2. So Riley 1 for 2 on the night. A line out in the first at bat of the 1st inning. Walked in the 2nd plate appearance, and then a triple down the 3rd baseline, or down the 1st baseline. He pulled that one all the way to the wall. And that run came in to score the 12th of the ball game. The pitch just misses him inside. Now 3-2. Leininger full count now to lead off the top of the 5th inning. We had a parent kindly send us some info sheets here on the players to see where we can find Leininger's. Some interesting facts. The payoff pitch, Leininger sends it into right field. Is that going to get down? Nope. Nice play there by the right fielder, Torres, as he makes the catch. L9 in the book for out number 1. And that'll bring up Eli Hellman, the shortstop. Thought Leininger had him another base hit down the right field line. But instead, he heads to the dugout with out number 1. And that'll bring up Eli Hellman. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. Has 3 RBIs on the night. Steps in here with 1 out and the base is empty. First pitch swinging. Hellman hits it into right field. Torres tries to settle under it and does. Makes the catch. It drops it on the transfer. Yeah, they're going to call it an out. They'll call it F9 in the book to retire Hellman for out number 2, and that'll bring up another pinch hitter. This is going to be number 6, Cord Lawrence. He'll step into the DH spot for Jackson Rainey. Cord will step in here to bat with 2 outs in the top of the 5th, and the base is empty. Lawrence will hit from the right side. Ramirez readies. First pitch sails high for ball 1.
Still a consistent pesky wind coming out of the south, about 7 miles an hour. It hadn't let up all evening.
That wind is coming straight in from center field. The 1-0 pitch to Lawrence bounces about 6 feet short into the backstop. 2-0 the count. The fact sheets sent to me for these players are just hilarious. Cord Lawrence's favorite, or absolute dream job, is to be a snake milker. The 2-0 pitch in there for a called strike. So Cord Lawrence,
cool.
Now ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. How do your teammates make practice fun? Our kind of brotherhood makes anything fun. And they've talked about that throughout the season on the Coaches Show. The 2-1 pitch up and over for ball, 3-1 the count. Cord Lawrence, 1/2 of what the team has labeled the Twin Towers, himself and Talon Ball, both about 5'6", 5'7", among the shorter ones on the team. The Twin Towers operate for this Eagle team tonight. As Lawrence in here to bat, 3-1 the count with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. The 3-1 pitch, and Lawrence sends it into center field. Nieto's going to give chase. He'll settle under it and make the catch for out number 3. FA the book to retire Lawrence, and the Eagles in order here in the top of the 5th. After 4.5 innings, Georgetown 12, Navarro 0. Eagle baseball continues on SHN after this. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Georgetown Eagles a chance to shut it down here, leading by 12. The Bi-District Playoff Series, game number 1. An opportunity for the Eagles to run, roll, and get out of this one. Coming up will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Adame, Torres, and Nieto for the Vikings. They'll face off against the relief pitcher. There is a change on the mound. I believe it's Kyle Ropolo. The first pitch in there for a called strike. See if he makes a turn. He does. Kyle Ropolo, the senior right-hander, leads it off here in the bottom of the 5th for the Eagles on the mound. An 0-1 count to Adame. Ropolo comes set from the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. And a ball sent on the left side of the infield. Hellman backs up onto the grass. Now will come in a couple of steps and make the catch for out number 1. P6 in the book to record the out of Adame as he goes down 0 for 1 in the ballgame after walking in the 2nd. Here in the first out in the bottom of the 5th, Chris Torres steps in. He's 0 for 0 in the ballgame. He walked back in the 2nd inning, was left stranded at first base. As he sets in here against Kyle Ropolo with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. The first pitch from Ropolo in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count.
So could this possibly be Navarro's last at-bat?
This is their last at-bat if they do not put up at least 3 runs. The 0-1 pitch, the bender in there, across the top of the zone for a called strike.
So
no balls and 2 strikes.
I was going to have you talk me through why the pitching changed, but now I think I answered that question. Let's get this done.
Kyle's the big closer for this team, him along with Brady Peters. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night for Ropolo there as he strikes out Torres on 3 pitches. Riley Leininger leaves the ball game, giving up absolutely no hits through 4 innings. He struck out 8, walked 3. What a beautiful night on the mound for Riley. Worked out of a battle there in the 2nd as he walked 3 batters, but got out of a bases-loaded jam with a beautiful strikeout. He now leaves the ball game to Kyle Ropolo, who's struck out 1 now, and now 2 outs, and a called strike to Nieto, who struck out in his first at-bat. A pop-up to Hellman at shortstop for the first out of the inning. A strikeout by Ropolo of Torres for out number 2. And now the Eagles looking for their final out of the ballgame to win this one here in game number 1. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Kyle Ropolo, like usual, as he worked through district with a 0 ERA in all of his relief appearances, wants to carry it on here in the playoffs. 0-2 the count to Nieto. Ropolo set, the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3, the ball game is over. Ropolo comes in, sets him down in order. 2 strikeouts out of 3 batters faced, and the Georgetown Eagles are victorious. 12-0 the final. Georgetown wins it over Navarro. Game 2 tomorrow night back at Eagle Field. The Eagles will take on the same Navarro Vikings and a chance to move on to the area round. Thanks for joining us here at SHN. We'll take a quick timeout. I'll go down to the field, visit with Coach Vieira, and we'll have a quick time there, and then we'll close it out for the night. You're listening to Georgetown Eagle Baseball on SHN.
This broadcast of Georgetown Eagles playoff baseball is made possible by ATC Contractors Incorporated, located in Georgetown, Texas. ATC Contractors. When you need us, we're there with you to execute the commercial remediation and restoration process. We also specialize in commercial waterproofing and building envelope systems. At ATC Contractors, we are most well known for restoration of historic buildings, but we do more, much more. Check out our website at www.atccontractorsinc.com. Find out everything we can do for you.
We're back live here at Nelson Field, the Eagles victorious 12-0 over the Navarro Vikings in Game 1 of the Bi-District Playoffs. A combined no-hitter. You'll take that any night of the week, but especially in the playoffs. Riley Leininger battled through a struggle there in the second inning, gets out of trouble, and then the Eagles continue to rock and roll through there, get a good win, and now go on to Friday's Game 2. Walk us through that one, Coach.
Well, Riley Leininger did a great job. He came out and threw a ton of strikes aside from that one inning. He battled in there and just filled it up and allowed the defense to work when they needed to. Kyle Ropolo comes in, throws a bunch of strikes, and gets us out there in the fifth. Offensively, we were able to set the tempo early, take a couple extra bags, steal some bags, take the balls when we needed to. When you're able to do that and then get the 3 hits at the occasional times you need to, that helps quite a bit. But all around, solid performance by our boys tonight. They played great, and then they scored a ton of runs like you need to. Looking forward to getting back at it tomorrow.
Mighty Mouse takes the ball off the nose off that bunt. Is he okay? We couldn't really tell what happened to him injury-wise.
He's a wrestler. He's a wrestler. They're used to that kind of stuff over there. It's just but a flesh wound.
That's all right. So the Eagles move on to Game 2 tomorrow night. We'll be back at Eagle Field. Will join us live. 6:45 pregame. Thanks, Coach. Congratulations. The Eagles advance to Game 2, up 1-0 over the Navarro Vikings. 12-0 the final. 11 runs of those came in the first inning, thanks to some walks, some timely base hits. Jacob Faltasek, a beautiful 2-out. 2-run single. The Eagles just did it when they had to have it. Riley Leininger, another dominating pitching performance, and Kyle Ropolo to come in and shut it down for the Eagles in the bottom of the fifth. We go tomorrow night at Eagle Field. Join us live on SHN, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch, or come join us in the stands. Be loud, wear blue, and cheer on these Eagles as they look to advance to the area round. Thanks for joining us tonight from Nelson Field. We sign off here, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Remember, it doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good night, everybody.